created psychology that produces the criminal. They're about to have 700,000 inmates eligible to be released, but they're gonna have to come through some kind of funneling system, so you just ain't flooding the street with psychotic criminals, right? So all that's part of the public notices that we played like 3 episodes ago, where they was going to all of the city halls and to the city councils and telling them, you know, about the unconstitutional way that they was prosecuting people. It violated what's clearly written in the Constitution, violation of the state decisis rule, which means once it's been decided that that's the rule. So they got a lot of different things that's moving in real time, a lot of moving parts. So it's hard to keep track. Now we also got 3i Atlas things. It's accelerating, so it's every time they say was November, late November, then mid-November, now it's in October. And at the rate that is moving, depending on the atmosphere of space that is going through at the time, it could warp further ahead in increments and be here even sooner. Right? It's not the only one. They got multiple of them coming in, and they've been tracking through Doppler a giant mothership that been hovering in the sky all around the world. It's been going around the world checking everybody out, hiding behind clouds.
Hey, so
remember that scroll, Mystery Clouds?
Yeah, Mystery Clouds. About Dr. Malkazi York. Hey, this is a question. This is another question I got for you, dealing with tying around with you talking about the money now. I looked it up, man. About it's a new statue, like a gold statue. I think it's in front of the Capitol building of Trump. Now, I thought it was AI or something at first, but I looked it up and I think CNN reporting it, and I'm still looking into it. But what do you think about it's Trump? I wish I had a picture of it, but it's Trump holding I know they're gonna chop me up trying to pull it up, but Trump holding a Bitcoin, right? Have y'all? Hey, drop it in the chat. Y'all seen that new statue of Trump? It's like a gold statue of Trump in front of the I think it's the Capitol building, holding a gold Bitcoin. What is the symbolism of that? Is Trump gonna be the last president and become a dictator? And say, found like.
Yeah. You gotta remember that the changing of the guard is taking place in Raven Rock, Colorado, under military supervision. Right? So Trump don't really have no say-so over the military other than activate the protocol. He activated the protocol. Right? And then they established a sting operation, which they called the Biden presidency. They called everybody they needed to catch. So you had to have a way to discover who was involved, what they was doing, why they done it. You got to be able to give a proper accounting back, or your purpose is not fulfilled, because you're supposed to make it clear. And so when they bring it out, whoever don't make it clear where you can understand what was taking place, the ones that don't take it clear is the ones that's the problem. They won't be able to see the correct side of the coin ever. So when the casting a person in gold is a ceremonial rite of the Anunnaki, that's where it originated from. To establish a leader in gold is to give him the highest Anunnaki honor on earth. He worth his weight in gold is the metaphorical meaning. It can only be worth his weight in gold if we go back to the gold standard. Otherwise, he's only worth his weight in fiat. So in order to be worth your weight in gold, gold has to be the dominant financial instrument to give value to who you are and the work you did. So it's made a statue of him in gold. In occult, they tell you can use substitute metals. The substitute metals for gold is what they call burnished brass, where you heat it up and polish it and it shine like gold. Polished copper, because when polished copper is shined up, it looked like dark gold. Right, so those become substitutes. And then, depending on what type of magic, you could use something called pyrite or fool's gold. It's not gold, but you can ritualistically use it as a gold substitute because it carries a certain frequencies of the color in the molecular structure where it can be substituted etherically in the magical ceremony.
What do you say to those? Because that people that feel like that statue of Trump being, somebody said it's on 3rd Street. Shout out to the brother or sister that put it in the chat, says on 3rd Street. I think it's DC. What do you say to? Because that sounds like some Saddam Hussein or some Kim Jong Un junk. Why you president? You erect a statue of yourself? Like, are you saying the Anunnakis told him to put that there? Like, what? Like I'm saying, it looked like some Saddam Hussein stuff to me, like a dictator. Like I'm like Iran versus.
If it's gonna be a dictator over here, it's gonna be a chief. You had to use a colonizer to overthrow the colonizers. Because if we would have did it, they would have knew we was coming and slit our throat. It's not a ritual. But since he did it, they slit somebody else's throat with a high-powered rifle. Pay attention. Throat chakra. Shut it down, shut them up. Right? Now all the heat directed to a chemical.
Go ahead. I thought you was finished talking. I ain't mean to cut you off. I thought you was finished talking.
Yeah, don't say all of the heat, the Charlie Kirk heat from the fall on Candace Owens, because she's spilling the beans of what Charlie discovered. Now remember, in Charlie's Angels, Charlie wasn't seen, but he was able to talk over the phone to the angels.
Charlie's Angels. Now, based on I did a whole bunch of research. I've been doing a background check on that Charlie Kirk assassination. To me, it's possible that they could have really shot him, but it wasn't it wasn't the guy on the roof. It could have been the guy standing we had his arm under. It was a guy in the crowd that had a white shirt on. He shot something, and and when his shirt lift up, it looked like he got shot from the side instead of the front. What I think is they shot him from the side. This is a possibility that he could have got shot and got shot from the side, but they AI doctored the video so it looked like he gets shot from the front. Or it could have been all staged where he had blood bags. So many things angles I've seen on it. But all I know is something ain't right about it. Something ain't right about that hit. Like it ain't it's like something getting covered up. Then they saw a dude messing with the camera right after he got shot and they got his body up. Somebody removing the camera, and then they saying it's this dude they caught. So it's like it's just all. But look, matter of fact, Roy, while we right here, I'm gonna play this clip, and then you tell me what you think. It is based on what we're talking about now.
We're gonna play Jordan Maxwell next. But look,
that's what I'm talking about. Maxwell.
Yeah, it's okay now. Remember, I already told you the first thing I heard when I heard he got shot was look up Captain Kirk. Right. Then we went over his birthday and the connection of the numbers. Now we're going to go through the connection through the meaning of the name. Yeah. So when he going over the meaning of the name Church Kirk, right, he's going into that. but that becomes relevant because we're looking at how they pass code. One of the things we said, if you don't learn how to read their code, you won't know what they're doing.
Right. Hit that like, y'all. Hit that subscribe button, y'all. Tell them we live with Pontiac, man.
So, by knowing the meaning of the name, and he went straight to the good ship Enterprise. The Enterprise is the business endeavor, right? And the business endeavor was controlled by the Bakers. Now, notice he said that the word is a Scottish word. That means it's controlled by the Scottish Rite. Scottish Rite Freemasons go up to 32 degrees and then they get an honorary 1 1/3. But when he said the other guy was brought up to 3, right? The 3 is the 3 degrees in New York Rite, Inner Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and Master Mason. Right? So then the master is exposing the Scottish Rite is what the code is translating in the common language. Right? And it's been spoken because we had to slit his throat. We used the projectile weapon. Right? Because the projectile weapon is the weapon of war. That's why he flipped the M over to the W, the 13 to the 23. Right? And the 13 is the Queen Mother. The 23 is the one who takes flight. Pattern on the code from Jordan is a Chicago knot. Air Jordan, number 23. 2 3s, that's 33 on a master flip, right? Because he's telling you it's a master on the 3rd degree York Rite that's flipping out the 32 degree Scottish Rite. So they're going off Jordan Maxwell, and Jordan Maxwell was a high-ranked self-educated scholar. And he was influenced by members of his family that was exposed to occult and to military grade intelligence. Right? So he was able to draw from them resources in order to put the puzzle together to help explain to us what we see. Right? So we got an eclipse coming up, but when I think it's Jupiter goes retrograde, because Jupiter is the gift giver. Right? Which is, Jupiter. When Jupiter go retrograde, that's the big payback. We go retrograde about mid-October to mid-November, somewhere up in there. This how you know something's going to take place over these upcoming weeks that's going to be huge. Because the energy alignments, not to mention what's been going on with the solar flares and the Schumann resonance. Right? So when you're looking at all this stuff converging, you can see the tremors as the earth shakes loose from the slumber of the sleep age, or the Kali Yuga. The nuclear winter. The hibernation period, the resurrection period. That's what I'm saying.
All right, Raw. You finished? You finished?
Yeah. You got another one?
All right. So like this next video I'm gonna play. I got a question to go with it, but I'm gonna play the video first. Then I'm gonna ask the question. And this right here is another play out of once. I've been studying the Elite Playbook for like the last couple of days, and one of the key components that they said that they love, a key component they said they love was voluntary compliance. And I said, dang it, voluntary compliance. That sounds like an oxymoron, like some creepy. That sounds real creepy. Like they want you to voluntary compliance. Could you break down? Because they say we volunteer to do all this, to pay taxes. We volunteer our kids to they slaughterhouse. We volunteer everything. Voluntary compliance, like you all do it. You should do it. Everybody's doing it. Why don't you want to do it? You know, could you break that down? Voluntary compliance.
That's that go along and get along. So I mean the same thing. Go along and get along. I mean, you don't want to upset the process because you get comfortable living in it. Right? You might know that it's effed up for everybody else, but you wanted a few that benefit from being able to navigate the system. Right? But rather than risk your comfort for the improvement of the comfort of everybody, right? You hold on to your comfort and be like, the hell with everybody else. I'm good. I got a good life. Right? But some people now wired a way by which they can live in comfort in this millions of people starving and homeless. So the voluntary compliance comes in with you being socially conditioned to the point where you just going along with it voluntarily, which is a tacit agreement, which is a silent agreement. Tacit means silent, an unspoken agreement. If you go along with it, you agree with it. And if you agree with it, when it comes down, you can't be mad at them because you was part of it. And this is how you end up with co-defendants on criminal cases. It's the same philosophy. Birds of a feather flock together. Right? If you catch one, you catch them all. Because they're going to all be in the same place. That's how tribes roll. That ain't how no... You know what I'm saying? It's just that they've been given overwhelming force while the tribe's been denied the rights of self-defense in the name of the damn law. Right? But the law had nothing to do with us. Because we not lost at sea. They crashed their ship on land. They crashed their ship on land.
So we've been voluntary comply. Like they scare us up. They use intimidation and say, "Oh, you don't pay us. We're gonna take your house, garnish your check, and this and that." So they've been using intimidation, but the whole time we've been volunteering them the intimidation. Like once we sign with them contracts with them, pretty much voluntary complaint, because they say if you don't do this, you can't really do nothing. You can't really, if you don't pay us a cut. So they've been pretty much extorting us the whole time. It's been pretty much extortion.
Yeah, it's the whole system is based on the extortion and robbery of the original organic people. It's are we gonna be smart enough to educate ourselves about a condition where we can expose the inner workings and the mechanics of what they're doing, so our people can see how to free their mind by understanding the trap.
Mm-hmm.
Till you get to the 100 monkey effect.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the 100 monkey effect, it starts saturating all across the land. Mm-hmm. It's like going viral on the internet. Mm-hmm. So when we're looking at something that's going to transform the entirety of humanity, we have to explain it in a way where the most people can comprehend it for the same thing, what they call voluntary compliance. Mm-hmm. Right? It's the same principle, just used to benefit us instead of used to oppress us.
Mm-hmm.
You go along with that, which is going right. You go along with that, which is going to benefit you the most in the end. Most people don't know how to determine their benefit because they've been taught to live in a poverty-based system. That means that the standard of the economic development psychologically has to maintain somewhere around the poverty level.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then, somebody's not going to be willing to stay at that level of poverty and they're going to advance. We just need them to tell us what they did to break from the trap by telling us their story. Now we all could get up there where they at. 100 monkey effect. Right? So we're looking at Sun Wukong's clone army of monkey soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they all brain banging at the same time. This is how we put it together. This is how it works. This is the mechanics of it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the liberation we can draw from it. Mm-hmm. If they can use it on us, we can use it on them. Fair, turnabout fair play. In the universe, it's spoken that what goes around, come around. Mm-hmm. You reap what you sow. Sometimes you end up being the reaper of what they sowed in your life. Mm-hmm. Right? And when you the reaper, you the one with the sickle to determine their fate. Our matrix, the Earth matrix, is called Luna. The moon is the most fake shit. It's a spaceship.
Thank you. Yes.
Right?
A satellite.
And, yeah. So the reason they put it there was to block the Saturn moon of Lilith. This take you back to beheading of Medusa. Because they was usurping the god. When you usurp a god in the pantheon of gods, you say you took their head. She didn't really get beheaded. Mm-hmm. In the Isis from 2,000 years ago, we know her as Cleopatra.
Yes, yes.
Right, but we don't recognize her as the pharaoh. She was the last pharaoh. Now the pharaonic reign has to return. But it ain't going to return in Hollywood, Kemet, Egypt. It's going to return to the original place where the original temples were set up that all of those other temples were replicas of. Like for us, what we call Egypt today, with the Giza Plateau and all that, that was Hollywood. That was a big ass movie set.
Yes.
And a military outpost to watch over them niggas in Sumer.
Yeah.
Right. And most of the tribes from Africa came from over here. But we think that we came from over there.
Absolutely.
They turned it upside down and backwards on us.
Yeah. That's why when you go to certain places in Africa, even though it's a huge continent, some people, like you go to certain places and it looks like a refugee camp. And you're saying to yourself, well, if these people lived here for that long, wouldn't it be developed? Wouldn't it be like, there's certain areas in Africa that are absolutely magnificent and beautiful, but a lot of the places look like people were just dropped there and they haven't acclimated to the new terrain, almost like they weren't originally from there, whether they came from a spaceship, the inner Earth, wherever it is. It almost looks like, even like, it just doesn't look like a place that's been sustained for a long period of time that's developed.
Well, you gotta remember, they've been in a perpetual state of war since the Berlin Conference.
Very sad. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Before that, the north of the Sahara, the northern Sahara region, was at war since about 4,000 BC with the same people. Same dirty Moors. Mm-hmm. They changed their name.
Always.
Right. Elijah Muhammad described them better than anybody else. He said they come in, pretend to be your friend, find two peaceful people getting along, and then they put a division between them, and then they offer them a solution. And I add this, for a fee. I'm gonna solve all your problems. It's gonna take you a couple dollars. Your oil reserve, your diamond reserve, your gold reserve, your platinum reserve, your lithium reserves. Look, every continent can sustain itself if you use what it has in true face-to-face business with the rest of the world. The least productive of all peoples on the land from their own land is Europe. Europe, it got some resources, but out of all of the places on the planet, it got the least amount of natural resources.
Absolutely.
Right. So what do? They go get their resources, their natural resources from other people's territory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that don't fly unless you colonize them. And colonialism can only last until the colonized get tired of the colonizer colonizing them, stepping on their neck, oppressing them, holding them down, telling them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, where you don't own none of the wealth from coming out of your land. They get rich off everything you do.
Well, they always send missionaries first. That's how they start the colonization with Jesus.
That's called the soft sale.
With Jesus, sending Jesus and,
Well, or Muhammad, it don't matter, or Abraham, it don't matter.
Abraham, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
You can pick either one of them. They're going to send one of them first.
Yeah. And make it seem like, that is something that will make their lives better, enlighten them, bring them peace and everlasting, life, whatever.
Yeah. So this is why the United Nations wrote the United Nations Indigenous Rights Act. Right? Because they have to tell you what your rights is, but they don't have to enforce them.
Yeah.
That's why there's no law enforcement power behind it, but they can't stop you from exercising your rights.
Well, you need the United Nations, even what's going on in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine, and even what's going on in Congo. UN is doing nothing, has no power, political power, or any enforcement way to enforce any of the laws to protect, cause peace, or to police anyone. They're just basically there for show.
Mm-hmm. So the Middle Eastern, the Israel of the Middle East,
Yeah.
that's us all to keep people out of Ukraine.
Oh, that's right. Well, Ukraine. Well, can we go into that too? Because I know the occultism that's going on over there, and a lot of the Israelis, which they don't talk about, the original home of the Ashkenazis was Ukraine, and they wanted to return home. So this is my opinion. I think maybe the war incentivized a lot of others to leave to clear way for those others to return.
So what they was doing is trying to keep the Khazarians, because you got to remember, Ukraine used to be called Khazaria.
Yeah.
The Khazars is your Ashkenazis,
Yes.
converts to Judaism.
Mm-hmm.
Your Spanish pale-faced converts is called Sephardi.
Yeah.
Right. So when did they convert? They converted during the Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Because the conflict was primarily between the domination of Christian doctrine versus the domination of Islamic doctrine. Most Muslims don't have a freaking clue that the Islamic doctrine comes from the same place the Christian doctrine as the Catholic Church.
Mm.
I was talking about this a couple of days ago on live, and a Muslim guy chimed in and was like, the Pope don't got nothing to do with Islam. Little do he know, the Pope is the highest ranking imam, the highest ranking Kohen, and the highest ranking Christian priest. Right? So he the highest ranking priest in all three religions. There's a mosque in Vatican City, a big one, next to a church that's next to a synagogue.
Mm.
Right? Most of us don't know about the history of the Catholic Church in the Middle East. right? Including the people that live there. I always have to say every time I say Middle East is where's the Middle North, where's the Middle South, and where's the Middle West?
Well, Middle East
Because
is not. Yeah. It's a. It's
yeah,
a.
'cause I keep getting confused when they say Middle East because it's the
This is
East, the
Africa.
middle of what?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's Africa because they just redesignated what in 1950 something,
1948.
1948. Yeah.
1948, they named Israel.
Mhm.
Nope,
Mhm.
they started calling it the Middle East when they discovered oil. I think that
Okay.
was the 20s
Oh,
or
okay.
30s.
That might have been it. Yeah.
They had to disassociate it from the motherland totally.
For melanation. For
Right.
melanation. You
Yeah.
know, because you can't have a whole bunch of Europeanized people over there and say it's Africa. They'll be like, where are those people? Those it's Africa. You're supposed to have melanation. You know, ancient Kemet. Where'd all these non-melanated people? So you got to reconstitute a name that would be further apart, further separating it from the concept of Africa, which is connected to high amount of melanin.
Yeah. But Africa ain't been Africa. It was named Africa in the Berlin Conference.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Then it was back then before it was
Another
called
gentrified
Africa.
name. Another gentrified name.
Yeah.
By the Cabbage Patch, no
Yeah.
doubt.
But before they called it Africa on all of the maps, it had one big word written on the continent.
Oh,
Sudan.
yes, Sudan. And Sudan has some of the most pyramids that no one talks about. South Sudan has all those pyramids and a big cross in a Christian church buried underneath the mound that no one's talking about that they just unearthed.
Well, they divided up Ethiopia, Sudan, and Egypt and made them different lands.
Yeah, and Eritrea eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. So why did they do that? Because one, the real Christians are Coptics.
Oh,
The equivalent, a Coptic Pope is called Al Kupt.
yes.
And the only way he can be Al Kupt, he have to be more familiar with the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible than anybody else on the planet.
Hmm.
And the irony of it is the default Al Kupt was Malachi York,
Yes. Yes.
right? And then um, they don't tell you that the Ark of the Covenant was in Ethiopia,
That's right.
right? And then they had something called Operation Exodus. It was also called something else. I think it was called Operation Jericho in the early 80s, where they was flying Falashas, Hadendawas, out of Ethiopia, Sudan, Somalia region into Egypt because they said they was the rightful heirs to the land called Israel.
Interesting.
This was a Mossad operation. You can read about it in by way of deception, written by a Mossad agent,
Mm.
right? Because he wrote the story in there because he was active with it. Matter of fact, one of the first major so-called terrorist attacks was at the Olympics when the Israelis had a shootout with Arabs on the airplane.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
That was
Mhm.
part of Mossad operations
Mhm.
and the resistance that they created from the people who was already in the Arab territories for thousands of years before they decided in 1948 that this was Israel.
Israel Al. Israel Al. Because the Israelites are of the 13 tribes of Sheba are actually those who are living in the Americas, from what I
It's
know.
the real original 13 bloodlines.
Hmm.
These are called the Grail lines.
Hmm.
It's the 12 daughters of Isis and their mama,
That's right.
right? But we believe in that it's the tribes of Jacob. Jacob being undermined,
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
right? And the 13th tribe of Jacob is the tribe of, I think his daughter name was Diana, but they
Okay.
don't talk about her. She's been ostracized.
Left out.
Remember, Jacob's sons slaughtered the whole village because one of them raped their sister,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And they told them that all y'all got to get circumcised now. Cut your foreskins off. And while they was all dick hurt, they came in and slaughtered them.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
That's how they rock. They
Yeah.
probably never raped a girl.
Mm.
She probably consented.
Mm.
But you know, it's the Me Too movement back then.
What about the whole concept of everything with J, like a J-E? Because in French, when we say je or j'ai is I am, like J-A-I, or je is I. It's interesting that Jesus, Jerusalem, Jewish, all have that J-E. It's interesting. I just find it interesting because in French, it's like it's like saying I, like I am,
Okay.
but it's
What's the
interesting.
origin of the letter J?
Um,
Latin didn't have a letter J.
it didn't. What?
Greek didn't have a letter J.
It didn't exist. That's right.
No, it existed in Semitic cultures, but it didn't exist in European cultures. Was no J. It was an I. In Greek, the I was called iota.
Interesting. Yeah. So that's why I say in French, if you speak different languages, you get to see from all different angles. So I always thought it was interesting that everything that was denoted with the JE was something that wasn't real necessarily because it was
But
always an I. Yeah.
when you write it IE, right, using rules of grammar,
Yeah. I
the I
before.
goes hard and the E goes silent,
Yes. Yes.
right? So if
Yes.
you apply that to the name Jesus, IESOUS,
ISIS. It's ISIS. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the O goes silent because it's following two vowels before a consonant, which makes the U go hard.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
But they don't want you to tell it, so they changed it to the Hebrew. But the New Testament wasn't originally written in Hebrew; it was
No.
originally written in Greek.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the Greek word that they use in the translate as Jesus is literally, not figuratively, Isis,
Woo!
right? But because we want to believe and we want to give people the benefit of the doubt when there ain't no benefit in doubt.
Yeah.
You know, if you got doubt, that means you're not sure. That means don't make that move.
Yeah. Even with the concept of like the Last Supper, the picture of the Last Supper, and you see 12 apostles, but you see Mary Magdalene there, wouldn't she be perceived as Isis? So the 13, which is represented by the feminine, is represented by the true, what Jesus, who it really was, which was Isis, sitting in that image. Would you?
Right. Because the one they calling Jesus was Emmanuel, her son, that in Egypt is called Herod.
Yes, yes.
Right. Now, when he grow up, she got to marry him off. And if you don't know Jewish marital rights, you won't never know what's taking place in John at the wedding in Cana. This is the mama getting the son married.
Mm.
Mary in European languages mean rebellious woman.
Yes.
But it comes from Mary, which was the land of Mary, who was Isis.
Oh.
And then they give us the famous prayer. Hail Mary,
Full of grace, the
Mother
Lord
of
is.
God.
Yeah. How are they? Yeah.
If she the mother of God, what the do that make her?
Isis, ice, baby. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Because when we lose our history like we lost to colonization,
Mhm.
they didn't just colonize the land, they colonized the information as well.
And the
They're
mind.
not gonna never tell you the information that's gonna liberate you. They only gonna tell you the information that they could use to keep you under their oppression.
But isn't colonization a form of parasitic infestation, because parasites do the same. They quietly infiltrate the body without the host truly knowing, and as they birth more of their eggs and start to take over in numbers secretively, they then eventually take over the mind and control the host completely, right?
That's the intent,
Yeah.
right? They telling us that we shouldn't be angry because because they gave us Christianity, but they
Oh.
took all our shit.
They rob your
Look,
house
you
and they
take the
don't
church,
expect you to be mad, right?
yeah, you take the church back and you give me back my shit, and let's
No.
see who in a better
Out
position.
of all the museums in Europe, you'll give back everybody's relics,
Give
which they,
everybody back their shit that y'all
yeah,
took in the name of the cross.
including everything on King Charles when he went and got, his scepter from his scepter, his crown, the diamonds, the jewels, everything. Return it all.
Everything. But look, here goes something that we really don't pay much attention to at all, right? In this church phenomenon of
Mhm.
colonization, and they giving us their religion, but they taking our stuff, right? And they controlling the narrative with their religious dogmas from all three monotheistic religions. And as long as we are unaware, they stay in power. But once we become aware, they can't control us no more.
True.
Right.
But that's
So,
where they built wars to distract us and to take us out of the mindset of consciousness again.
right. Because once you understand who you are and you understand where your people at and who your people are, you a problem. You a whole problem. Not a piece of a problem, you the whole problem.
Mhm.
Because now they have to answer for that. When the rightful heirs manifest and assert their tribal right under the matriarchy, you grandfather clause the matriarchy back in. The grandfather clause allows you to use an act of law that's never been overturned. The matriarchy is the grandmother clause. The
Mm.
grandmother clause say that the heritable birthright to land management goes to the women. Period. That's it.
Mhm.
Right. So
Well, in
now,
Jewish, yeah, in Jewish
yeah,
law, it always goes through the matriarchy. Still, the Jewish, the birth of a Jew is truly through the woman. That's what denotes that lineage.
yeah, you can't usurp somebody without using their shit. You can't,
Yeah,
because now it goes against their primal nature. Once they understood our nature, everything that we did naturally, they called it pagan, and they either monetized it or villainized it.
absolutely. Or
They
blew it
told
up.
us,
Or blew it
they
up.
told us,
Destroyed it.
look, they told us voodoo was evil.
Meanwhile, they were doing all the rituals and learning it and usurping all of the practices so that they could do it on everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now in voodoo ain't no voodoo practitioner scared of no damn devil,
No,
right? Whoever the devil of the day was stood face to face with Duddy Bookman and lost. Shout out to Haiti again. I love them people.
Haiti. Sapase.
But in voodoo culture, we know that when a Legba come, a Ogun gonna follow.
That's right.
A Ogun gonna follow every time. And when that Ogun come, that old goon, he not playing.
No, he's coming with the
He
wrath.
not nice.
Yeah, he's following with the wrath. Yeah.
Yeah. The hard part is when the parameters of the remedy to the war require you to just be more intelligent than the oppressor. You'll be able to see what the oppressor is using so you can publicly expose it to as many of the tribes as possible so they can
Absolutely.
all break free.
That's right.
Right? That ain't what Ogun want to do. Ogun don't want to go in the library. He want to go to the battlefield.
Yeah, he want to cut off heads.
Yeah,
Yes.
So, and when you look at the strategies of military, before Ogun go to battle, he gonna do his investigation. Who am I fighting? Where did they come from?
Hmm.
How long they been here? How they get here? Who told them where we was at? What do they want? Right? So when he gets satisfied with each one of the answers, then he started trying to formulate a particular way of reaching the people from the different bloodlines, the 13 ISIS bloodlines. And he started talking because he's rallying the troops. Little do they know, they getting a spiritual call. Some of them getting lions roars in their sleep. They can hear it in the early morning. Roar, lions roaring.
Yeah.
Right? Some
That's
of
the
them
call.
see big everywhere they go, black cats following them. That Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't know what's going on, but they know this is getting their attention and they like something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Then you got other ones, they hear gorillas beating on their chest.
That's right.
The thunder and roar of the gorilla pounding on his chest, and this ain't no regular gorilla. Where this motherfucker come from?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the spirit animal is a communication tool from nature to communicate with the natural being. Unnatural beings are not going to have any pets ever. They're going to always try to exterminate as much natural stuff as possible.
Oh, everything, trees, nature, they
Cut
kill
down
animals with no sort of emotion.
Yep. Cut down the trees, open the slaughterhouse, poison and pollute the waters, poison and pollute the air. They breathe in the same air and they in the same water and they polluting it because they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care about nobody but themselves. They'll sell their mama, they'll sell their children. So what you think they're going to do to you?
Yeah.
That's who we've been fighting.
What do you think about the when we talk about the dirty Moors, like, or the Jesuits? When we talk about the
Jesuits get a bad rap.
because they're considered to be like the hub, and then no,
You know what the Jesuits' job was?
what was it?
To make sure ISIS can be put back on their throne.
Interesting. Interesting.
If you notice, the letters that make up on their crest is IHS.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah.
Ain't no J on there.
It's true. That is true. Yeah.
Right. So, and then they got the symbol of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the letters precede the sun because the sun is behind the letters. The letters represent what the mother stand for, and the sun represent the arrival of her son, Heru.
Yeah.
Heru is synonymous with rightful heir to the throne, right? And you can have multiple blood right heirs, but only one is going to do the required work to ascend the family tree. You will see the symbol of the family tree with all of the pantheon of Egyptian gods on it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Climbing the tree means becoming aware of where this character type, archetype fit in your family. Once you identify all of them, then they collectively charge you with the spiritual energy
Yes.
that moves you to the forefront. This is why they say, study to show thyself approved.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just mean read books. They mean go out into the population and watch how people move around on the land. You know, why is this neighborhood only got this kind of people and that neighborhood only got that kind of people?
That's right. Don't you feel like when they do spiritual attacks, they attack certain animals to affect the energy of certain people?
They can use the animal to direct the attack.
Okay.
Right. So it's like Harambe. They didn't have to kill him.
Yeah.
But they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because he was in the zoo in Ohio, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Ohio is part of the Chief Pontiac territory.
That's right.
From Pontiac, Michigan to Pontiac, Illinois. Well, Indiana, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, that make up the Ottawa territory before colonization.
Mm.
And it was an Ottawa Confederacy. You had other tribes in there, Tecumseh, Oshkosh Bagosh. Everybody think the baby clothes is made by some pale faces. Oshkosh was a chocolate ass brother who started the clothing line.
No one knew that. Yeah.
Original baby clothes was always sewn in New Orleans by the Taylor clan.
Mm.
When they began to assault New Orleans, all of the stuff that we did down there had to be outsourced to other tribes. Oshkosh just so happened to get the baby contract to make the baby clothes, and he's supposed to feed his tribes off that. It's more than one tribe under his jurisdictional responsibility to take care of.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So all these people, they in the area, they Chief Blackhawk from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All of these different chiefs from back in the day is heritable birthright to a person born of spiritual high rank bloodline on the land. You inherit their beef.
Exactly.
I inherited Chief Pontiac beef. I ain't want his shit. I want to have my own beef. But when I look back at it now that I'm older,
you're qualified
and
though.
wiser,
But you're qualified. That's why you inherit it.
yeah, that's the matriarchal rule. The position don't never go to who you think you do. It go to the most qualified person.
That's right.
And sometimes the most qualified person don't look like you.
Mm-mm.
Right? But that became problematic because some of the people that they was appointing as chiefs didn't look like us. But we thought, well, maybe Big Mama did appoint him. No, the president appointed that sucker so he could sign that treaty.
That's right. The only ones who are on the ones on, from what my grandmother told me, is that those on the reservation are the ones who sold out the others, because those are the ones who, and there was there was a redesignation of tribal people replaced by Mongolians or others that took on this
They were brought
status.
over here as captives from Europe.
Yeah, they weren't actually tribal based people. Yeah.
Well, they was tribal based, but they was under the control of some of the people that used to eat their babies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
because even if you have a conversation with someone, you talk to them and you say, as a melanated woman who still holds a lot of the same, I look visually still like my tribe. I said, when someone looks like the enemies that incepted them, they no longer are those people, because they would have fought tooth and nail to not be inseminated with the very enemy that destroyed them.
I'm gonna point a couple of things out that we haven't paid attention to in enough detail. The Mongolians that was brought over here with colonizers, all of them didn't take sides with the colonizers. Remember, when they tell us that in the Gullah Wars it was runaway slaves joining, them was the Mongolians. Them wasn't them nappy head brothers.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes, yes.
It was the Mongolians, and we accepted them because their cultural traditions and their belief in the matriarchy was like ours. Mm-hmm. The ones who took sides with the colonizer, because it was a sizable portion of them, who they sent to scalp us, not pale faces, us. Mm-hmm. And they had bounties on our head. They originally was bringing our whole head, but they was collecting too many heads. They told them, that's too many heads. Well, just bring the scalp back. The scalp was only payable if your hair looked like this. Mm-hmm. They couldn't pay a scalp for a straight hair, stringy hair individual. It had to be woolly.
Yeah, that's deep.
Right. And that goes back to the bison trains. Everybody think that they was only shooting at the bison. They didn't know that them big Tookie Williams looking brothers wearing bison pelts is hid in the buffalo. They all throughout here. You can't see them riding your train through the land. You see all them buffalo, but when it get dust dark, they said the colonizers said, we don't know what it is, but when it get dark, all of the buffalo turn into braves and they start attacking our trains, our horse and carriages. They attack us. So this is how they tell the story. For every buffalo you kill a native.
That's why they killed all those buffalo.
Yeah.
Slaughtered them.
Yeah. We didn't believe in mass slaughter.
No.
We didn't have slaughterhouses. We harvested as needed. Mm-hmm. and we kept our farm, our livestock farm,
Mhm.
was the Great Plains. That was grazing land for the bison, the elk, the moose, and we
Mhm.
didn't care if a pack of wolves took a couple of them and harvest them. Let a wolf go to one of these sheep farms and watch how quick he'd be exterminated.
Mm.
Right? We didn't care because nature has to nature naturally in order for nature to provide for everything nature needs to provide for.
That's right. That's
Right?
right.
They counting dollars. They not counting livestock.
Mm.
We counted the livestock as a soul,
That's right.
and we honored the sacrament of consuming that which surrendered its soul to us.
That's right.
It was sacred. We used to have a deer walk up to you like, look, I don't know what these suckers doing, man, but I'm tired of this life, and y'all look like y'all need something to eat. So I'm just gonna bow down right here. You're gonna pull out your Bowie knife and slit my jugular vein, and let's get this over with.
Mm.
Right? But we lost so disconnected from who we are that the things that we used to do sound far fetched now.
Absolutely.
Right? A shaman would stand out he'd raise his hands to the sky and he'd just say, Mother Earth, Father Sky, feed my clan. And he'd stand there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's 20 rabbits run up to him. It could be a coon run up to him. It could be a couple of buffalo, some deer. They coming to feed you.
Yeah.
Because you in tune with the natural workings of nature. That's why in the Bible it say, do the birds prepare what they gonna eat? Do they prepare for tomorrow what they gonna eat?
No.
Do they look for a place to rest? No, they already know how to build their nest.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't none of this stuff new. Everything ain't nothing new under the sun. We did it 1,000 times.
That's right.
The only difference about this time is it was done under the hostilities of a foreign agency.
Which are parasitic and vampiric by nature. And
Yep.
lets us know they weren't from this plane of existence because the way that they destroy is not beneficial to them. So that's how we know they're not from here. Now, just a question, because I know I don't want to keep you too long. And everyone, please definitely give Rod Hayes so much respect and honor. I love it. His information is everlasting and so, oh my God, you're like an Akashic Records, like a walking, like Akashic. Like you just walk in, like boom, like what page? Like what page are we going in today?
It's just tribal greed.
Absolutely. And I'm going to put your Cash App, y'all. Make sure you show some love to Rod. And then, when we kind of closing up a little bit, we'll talk about where you can reach Rod, where you can watch some of his amazing shares and videos. Because I'm not the only channel he talks to. There's so many other channels and shares so much information that is so transformative, especially it's things you teach me things every time you come on. So I'm appreciative. Question. I had a colleague, an old colleague, who spoke about World War One, and there was a video that kind of followed up on this. I want to ask your opinion on this. World War One, for what was said and what I heard, which I think I may have heard remnants of it, is that World War One, all of Europe came to fight the indigenous and take pieces of the Americas, and that's when the original fall of the indigenous nations actually really truly became more tangible. What say you as far as that's concerned?
So now you're talking about the discovery doctrine of the Catholic Church and the incursion into the Americas by the French, the Spanish, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the
Yes,
English.
yes, yeah.
The 1492 invasion is what I call it.
There we go.
And that war never ended. That war just ended like when Trump took office.
Oh, interesting.
Do you remember they did the congressional recognition of the 400 years?
A few years ago, yes, yes.
Do you remember when Pelosi tore the Bible up in the Senate? And
No, I didn't see that.
I'm not seeing the pictures.
Please, please.
Donald J.
Was she drunk? Was she sipping on the yak?
She probably was drunk as a skunk.
You know what I'm saying?
But while she was doing that, though, Donald Trump was standing in front of a boarded up church holding the Bible upside down in front of it.
What?
They did it at the same right around the same time on
Interesting.
the same day.
Interesting. Huh.
That's the end of the Bible contract that the missionaries brought.
Is that why Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible when he was,
No,
when he?
he didn't do that because he already been sworn in. He can't
Oh,
swear
he
in
didn't have
twice.
to. Okay. We spoke about that before. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't swear in twice. You already sworn in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the end of the biblical contract, which is tied to the discovery doctrine.
Hmm.
Right. Then remember, Simcoe put the Pope on notice in the public domain in Canada. And then he went back to the Vatican and repudiated this discovery doctrine.
Interesting.
But in 2014, he sent Obama a letter telling him to dismantle all other Catholic Church U.S. holdings. And specifically the police, the judges, and all of the other imposters and frauds over here masquerading as our government.
Mm.
And when he did that, Obama tried to recontract us back to the Moors. You'll see the picture of him standing in front of the Moors flag, and you listen to the lecture. You know, he talking about something that don't make sense.
Interesting.
It's double speak, political double speak.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So now, as we go forward in 2025, with the apparent, most likely candidate, Pope Peter, closing up the cycle of the circle, what do you think will become of this Middle Eastern psyop? Because it's really a psyop. What do you think that's all about? Of the fighting within Syria, Israel taking Syria, Israel taking over Palestine. What is the goal of that, and how will that affect the Americas?
Okay, well, it's going to create hostility between America and modern Israel
Oh wow. Okay.
because they doing stuff blatantly that they supposed to be doing through covert channels, right? And it's exposing all of the dirt they've been doing the whole time.
Well, yeah. It's everything's showing now.
Mm-hmm.
The seams are busting out.
So the term is called "the dragon whips his tail." Right? Just because you think you an ally with the dragon, when he turn around and you the last one left, it's just gonna knock you off the board with his tail. Right? The awakening of the people in the Americas right now is so critical to world peace and restoration of rightful, responsible caretakers of the land.
Yes.
But we don't know how important we is. But if we wasn't important, it wouldn't have took a whole 7, 8, 12 countries to invade us. The only people that helped us during them early days was the Russians.
And Haiti. Remember, Haiti had a big part.
Well, they us.
Yeah, that's
I said the only people that helped us.
Oh, that's true. On the outside, yeah, it was Russia.
Yeah, they did no African country send no backup.
No,
because they was going through it too.
Yeah.
Did no Asian country send no backup because they was going through it too.
Yeah.
We got to remember, while they was colonizing us, they were having opium wars in China, Japan,
that's right.
Thailand,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Then they was slaughtering them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right? We don't remember that part of history, though. We don't want to talk about it because that don't got nothing to do with me. I'm from America. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from LA. But the reality is, if you don't know who was being attacked, you don't even know who your allies could be.
That's true.
Takes us to the Bandung Conference. The Bandung Conference was called by a guy named Sukarno, in the Philippines. And the purpose of it was to form a counteroffensive to the white supremacist colonizers. Let that sink in.
Mm.
No European nations was invited. No pale faces was allowed in the building.
Mm.
Because at the time, they was under the belief that pale faces was the white supremacists. We ain't know no niggas was behind this stuff.
Yeah.
Until the elders started doing their research, and then they writing all these books, and they tell me, wait a minute, man, this is not what we being told.
No. At the very top is the Dark Lords, the dark black lords. Those are the ones who were really ruling over the realm.
Well, you've seen the Pope kissing their feet. It ain't no
Oh
secret
yeah,
no more.
absolutely.
Cat's
And
out
people,
the bag.
yeah, absolutely. And also in The Ringmakers to Saturn by Norman Bergram, he talks about that man standing on the ship, a UFO that was nearly 8 feet tall. That was a